I know exactly what it feels like. You want to keep consistent with your posting schedule, but whatever you do, you just seem to always fall behind. You don't really know what's going on, and you feel like your whole content is just fueled by pure motivation. And so when the motivation stops, so does the posting. And then you just end up in this endless loop of not growing your content or your social media channels, and it can be really frustrating. Hi, I'm Noah, and I've been exactly in the same position as you are in right now. Because posting content consistently can be a real challenge. And even more so if you're also trying to run a business on the side and you want to leverage content for growth, but you just lack the time between meetings, fulfillment, sales calls, and all of the rest of the stuff that you need to be doing for your business. So luckily, there is a solution to all of this, and that solution is systems. So today I want to walk you through how I've built content systems in Notion. And if you make it to the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build a whole system for yourself and finally quit that loop of running on motivation and not posting consistently enough and not being able to grow your social media. So let's get into how you can build a system without burning out and without having to hire a whole team to run your social media channels for you. This is a system I built for a client of mine, but I personally use a system that's really similar to. And what I've done is just taken the content creation process and broken it up into 3 simple steps. So what you need to be doing is ideating, creating, and evaluating. So I'll walk you through all those steps individually and show you how I've built a system around that just pushes content through this funnel as if it were a factory production line. So that's how you have to imagine this as well. We're taking the ideas, which are kind of like the raw materials, we're putting it through this factory, which is the creation phase, and finally we can push out that product or that content and we can evaluate how well it's doing on the market or on your social media platforms. So yeah, with that in mind, I'll just go right into it. So here you see the dashboard. There's different views, there's different buttons, there's quite a lot at once, but we can walk through all of it. So like I said, we'll start with ideation. I won't get into all the details of the dashboard yet, but the dashboard is basically just there to show you a consolidated view of everything that's going on. So we'll start with ideation. And sorry, I forgot to turn my light on. It's on now though. Okay, so the ideation dashboard is really easy. You have a button to add a new content idea. Boom, done, it's added. And the thing with ideas is that they'll often come up in the most random moments. You might be going for a walk, you might be cycling, you might be sitting on the bus, you might be in a conversation with a friend or in a meeting with your business partner or with a client, and you're like, that's a good idea, let's make content on it. That's why I tried to make it as simple as possible to add new content. And it's literally, all it takes is that one click, and I want you to type in your idea. So for this whole walkthrough, I'll show you how I would personally plan this video that I'm posting right now, like the one you're watching, which would kind of be like, I'll maybe give it a title. It doesn't really have to be like a definitive title. This idea that I'm putting in here won't be the actual title of the video, or maybe it will, who knows. But yeah, I would maybe just call it like supercharge your content with systems, something like that. And then in the brief, I can give more detail so that I personally remember what this idea was about when I had it. So maybe I'll say walk through Notion content system. That way I'll remember, oh yeah, that was the idea, really cool. And then whenever I'm ready to plan my actual tasks and stuff, I'll just go to this to refine view. Here you'll see all of the ideas that you haven't used yet. And by the way, all these statuses and things are completely automated. And also, if you want this template for yourself and you want to use this system, then just go down into the link in my description and you'll find it there. So yeah, so you have all of these ideas. That's all cool. And now it's time to actually start creating, because we've gone through the ideation phase. That's really all there is to it. Just click a single button, add a new idea, give it a title, fill in the brief. You're done. That's it. This really does not take a lot of time. And that's the nice thing about this system. It'll save you so much time. I mean, if I think about everything that I'm posting right now during a week, without this system, I would probably be taking like 10 to 20 hours extra. Not even like, that's not even exaggerating. Like, not having a system behind it really takes up a lot of time. Not only because you take longer to ideate or because it takes longer to edit. The real roadblock here is that you're gonna spend a lot of time searching for scripts, searching for B-roll, searching for ideas, and they're all scattered and they're not in this clean system. And you also open your laptop and you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing and what the priorities are. This system will help you with that, and I'll show you how in just a bit. So like I said, ideation, done. Let's move on to creation. So I'll remove this idea for now. This one is kind of like the ideation page. We've been in here already. Now we're going to get to creating, like I said. And the way you do that is just by adding a post like this. So that would, for example, add a YouTube video to that idea. So there's two separate databases working here. We have an ideas database and we have a content database, which you'll see here. We're now in the creation dashboard. At the top, you'll see your to-dos, which we'll get to soon, and your content pipeline. You also see the unplanned videos. Now, one of these is the one we just added. We can see which idea links back to. Okay, this is the one because it links back to our supercharge your content with ideas video. So all we got to do is take this and drag it into the calendar to schedule it. So we can, for example, say this has to be uploaded on the 27th. And now we can actually go in here and you'll see inside the page you have to-dos, you have a place for your copy, and you have a place for your script. And this is where I would actually type out the script so that it's all centralized and I know exactly where to look for the content. So yeah, I would give it an intro, write down my hook, maybe just bullet points of what I want to go through and what I want to be talking about. And then that lives in there, and it also lives in this calendar. And I'm going to see that post on the dashboard. I'll show you the dashboard as a final little treat once we get through the whole system. Here, there's also something regarding campaigns, which is not that relevant. We're just going to focus on this main workflow here. So we now have the video in here. We can also add tasks. Once again, a single click, they're all here, it's done. You don't need to be worrying too much about it. So we have the script already written. Let's just assume I wrote a whole script down here, and I can now tick that off and it's done. Next, I'll be filming it, which I'm doing right now. So we'll assume that's done too. And then that's how the creation process basically works. So I'll see here that the content pipeline is updating automatically too. So the more of these I tick off, the more it'll move along this pipeline. It's now in the drafted. If I've edited that and created the visual, it'll move to visual created. And then when I schedule that video, it'll move to the status scheduled. So you'll see that it just moves through that pipeline really nicely depending on how much we've done. And you can also add due dates for these tasks and then actually check on your tasks in the task manager. Here you'll basically see everything you need to do. Here you'll see for this week the different tasks you have, and down here you can schedule your tasks. We can, for example, take these ones that we have for our new YouTube video and throw them all into the calendar. We're in October here. Let's move forward there. So we'll take these and simply drag and drop them in here, and now they're going to be assigned. So that's pretty awesome, right? That's all it takes to organize and schedule this. You can simply drag and drop these as well to change the dates. And now when we go back into the content, which you will see in the creation dashboard, we'll see our to-dos. We'll see all of them here too in this week, and we'll see this video that we've been working on this whole time. And now you see all of these have a due date, which is awesome stuff. So to kind of recap this second part, this creation phase, we've added the video to the content database, we've added the tasks, and we've written the script, all centralized in this one database. And so finally, you're gonna eventually publish that video, and that's when we get to the evaluation phase. So this is more of a dashboard. You don't really have to do anything here. It's more to look at, more to figure out what's going well and what's not well. So here you'll see your top performers. You're going to see every single video you've posted this month, and you'll see how many views it's gotten, what the engagement rate is, how many posts you've posted. So you'll also see your performance, because for me personally, it's really important to track the input versus the output. So instead of tracking how many views you've gotten, it's much more important to look at what you're putting in. Are you posting as much as you want to? So that's why I've added this dashboard here too. You can add that into your own dashboard too when you're building your system, or like I mentioned, download this template below. And there's even a link where you can directly schedule a free call with me if you just need some advice, you have some additional questions, or you want to build a system like this with me. We can build it custom made for you. So do check that out in the description down below. But yeah, just to quickly recap this evaluation, you'll see all of the different posts, you'll see the likes, comments, shares, saves, and you can just fill that out or automate it so that you don't have to fill out all these numbers yourself. I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So we've seen the evaluation dashboard. Let's go back home. So here you're just going to see an overview of everything that's going on. Upcoming content will show you all the posts scheduled for today. So if we move this YouTube video back one, day, you'll see that it's showing up right here. We can also look at everything scheduled for this week. And of course, because it's this week, you'll see that it's on that list. Your efforts is kind of like a chart showing you how much you've posted per month for every type of content. So it's also a good metric to see, like, okay, how am I doing compared to last month? Am I posting more? Am I posting less? Which platforms are getting a lot of love? Which platforms should I be putting more love into? And that'll just help you stay structured as well. We have all of that. That's basically the system. That's all you need. And this will make you go from being confused, being overwhelmed, and procrastinating on content to being structured, knowing exactly what to post and when to post it. And it'll bring so much clarity. So whether you want to build this yourself, download the template below, or get on a call with me for something custom, there's a solution for everyone. And one final thing I want to talk about before this video wraps up is the power of automation. I want to show you that with a little dashboard in a different scenario where the actual template looks a little different, but kind of like in general, what we did here for a client of mine was have N8N run in the background, which is an automation tool. We plugged that into Notion and we created an agentic AI system that has full context on their brand, on who they're trying to target, and all of their past really well performing content pieces. And all they have to do is click on this generate new ideas button, and it'll load up a bunch of new fresh content ideas for them in under a minute. And it takes zero effort on their side. So I'll actually just show you the whole flow in N8N as well. If you are comfortable with that, you can build it yourself and kind of copy it. Yeah, so here it is. If you've never used N8N before, it's a no-code/low code automation tool, which basically means it just connects different apps to each other. You can connect AI agents to your tools and just make things happen, just like you see here. So what it does is it'll gather a bunch of context through all of this, do some analysis, and finally this agent right here that you see right here, this is the one that actually takes all of that information that's been gathered and summarized and packaged nicely and will then generate ideas, and this final loop will just simply add these ideas into the database. So this is what the ideas look like then. You'll see exactly the title, you'll see in the comments like a quick brief on what the idea is about, and then once that is approved, it can be edited and used in the system. So that's how it works. And this is only one use case. I mean, there's so much you can do. And what I do want to mention as well is that I don't entirely think that automating everything 100% and just having a workflow that pushes out content for you with AI generated visuals and stuff, I don't think that's the right way to do it. Me personally, that's my opinion. I think that you need to have a human touch. You need to be creative. You need to come up with your own ideas. But I think this can be a really good backup for when you're running out of ideas, when you feel like your creativity is not working. This will bring that consistency into your content and make sure you're generating content and growing your brand 24/7, no matter how your personal motivation levels are. So that said, AI automation can be really powerful. Just use it with caution though, because you don't want to be producing AI slop the same way everyone else is. Another thing we recently built was an automated analytics scraping tool that, once again with N8N, that will take all of the likes, comments, engagement, shares, impressions from every single post that was uploaded to social media, and it'll bring it back into Notion, and there's zero effort or manual work required there. So things like that can be automated. You got tools like N8N, Zapier, Make, all of those tools can handle it. It's just a matter of knowing how to and setting it up. And that can save so much time while still giving you those invaluable insights into how your content is doing. So with all that said, I think it's time to wrap up the video for today. You've learned the 3 stages of content creation. You've learned how to build systems out of them. And once again, reminder, you can download this template below in the link, or you can also schedule a call if you want to do that. Like I said, it's completely free. And yeah, happy building. I really hope this video brought you some value. Subscribe and like if it did, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.